You are about to listen to another episode of That Sports Guys podcast, hosted by Craig Forrestall. Find Craig on Twitter at that_sports_guy. The That Sports Guys podcast is proudly featured by NFL Draft Diamonds, your draft coverage king. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some football talk.
Hello and welcome to another episode of That Sports Guys podcast. I am Craig Forrestall. You may know me from Twitter as at that_sports_guy. And this evening it is all about Houston Baptist quarterback Bailey Zappe. Bailey, what's happening on your end, man?
Nothing much, just hanging out. Excited to be on this podcast.
Hey, likewise. And I want to jump into it because I've talked to guys from all over, but I have never had the chance to talk to anyone from Victoria, Texas. So, Bailey, what's it like growing up there?
I mean, it's fun. You know, Victoria is in South Texas. It's a little small town, about 60,000 people. It's a little country town. So, you know, I grew up hunting, fishing. You know, I did all that stuff. Most of my family is from this little town, like 45 minutes north of us. In a little small town called Hallettsville. So that's where I spent most of my weekends and stuff like that. You know, in a small town like Victoria, you really don't have nothing much to do. You know, you got one movie theater, one mall. So, I mean, after school, we would sometimes link up in the mall parking lot or go catch a movie at night. You know, just do some stuff to buy some time and just have fun.
And then, Bailey, I want to move over to your high school days because during your junior and senior year, you threw a combined 79 touchdowns, but not that many schools came knocking on your door. How hard was it to know that you were putting up top-notch stats across the state in a hotbed like Texas, but the recruiting opportunities weren't flooding in like they should have been?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty tough. You know, comparing myself to everybody else, putting, the numbers that everybody else is putting up compared to mine. But, my dad always told me, just trust the process, just keep my head down, keep working, and just ball out every game. Recruiting process, like you said, was very slow for me in a small town like Victoria. Not many people have heard of it. So, as much as I could do every game, I did. And, I got lucky. HBU offered me, and now I'm here.
And then how quickly did things come together for you in Houston Baptist University once things started to heat up?
Yeah, so, I mean, I didn't get offered by HBU until January of my senior year. So I went through my entire senior season without a single offer. I had some communications with Coach Shealy and the QB coach at that time, Charlie Reeve. We had some communication back and forth, but no offer. So I went through my whole senior season, got into January, and they finally offered me. It was a very exciting moment. I remember, I was in academy with my dad when I got the call, and I just remember telling my dad, and I just see him breaking down in tears. And my dad doesn't cry. My dad's not a crier. So seeing him cry and joy, brought me to tears. My dream came true of, being able to play D1 football. And, I'm blessed and grateful that Coach Shealy gave me the opportunity.
And then almost immediately, once you got to campus, you were thrown into the fire. You started as a true freshman. How did playing right away and starting right away help you grow as a player and as a leader when you look back at it?
Oh, it helped me big time. At that time during my freshman season, I was, it wasn't a very good season for us here at HBU. So I was mad that we weren't, winning games. But now looking back on it, it's probably the best lesson that I could have asked for. I've learned so much from then, overcoming adversity, learning just the game of football, really, understanding it more, gaining more knowledge from my coaches. I think the biggest part I take away from them, understanding, understanding the offense and, being able to interact with my players and understanding that, D1 football is not like high school. And I think that was the biggest transition going into that season was just, the speed of the game is so much different. And being able to go in and get that first start as my freshman year has really helped me, slow the game right now in my senior season.
And then the growth has continued. As a sophomore, you earned honorable mention All Southland honors. Last season, you threw for over 3,800 yards and 35 touchdowns. Bailey, it seems like as you grow, the Houston Baptist program grows. How much does it mean to you to see the program turn into a winner under the guidance of Coach Vic Shealy?
Oh, I mean, it's awesome to, be here in first person and actually witness the improvement that we've had since my freshman year. I came in my freshman year, it was only the fourth or fifth season of HBU, the football program. And, seeing the improvement from that year to 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road has been awesome. Coach Shealy has done a great job. All the coaches have done a great job in recruiting, getting better players here every year. It speaks volumes. I mean, you're talking about the stats that I put up last year. I mean, none of that happens without, the 10 other guys on the field. And I give them all the praise. I give them all the glory, because without them, like I said, I don't accomplish anything.
And then I want to stick with the coaching staff, but I want to move over to offensive coordinator and quarterback coach Zach Kittle. Zach Kittle actually comes to you guys from Texas Tech, where he was on staff with Cliff Kingsbury and had the chance to be the position coach for Pat Mahomes while he was there. How much does it mean to you to be able to learn from someone like Zach Kittle that has experiences with Cliff Kingsbury and Pat Mahomes, given what they're doing in the NFL now?
I mean, we talk about it all the time. It's when he was there, he always talks about how he saw greatness in Pat, and being able to coach him, seeing that, and with his own eyes is, he said, humbling experience to see what he's doing now. It's like, oh, I coached him while he was in college. And, what I do every day is I talk to Coach Kittle every day. That's my guy. I love Coach Kittle. He's done wonders for me in my game. Every day I meet with him over the phone or in person. I try to gain as much knowledge as I can from him, because, from him coming from Texas Tech, like you said, coaching Pat Mahomes, and, his mentors, Coach Kingsbury, those two guys are very successful right now in the NFL. And, every day I try to gain as much as I can from him.
And then, Bailey, you have a couple of weapons on the offensive side of the ball coming back this year in wide receivers, Jareth Stearns and Ben Retzlaff. Stearns had more than 100 catches last season, and Retzlaff went off for over 1,100 yards. What do they mean to this offense, and what does it do for your confidence as a quarterback, knowing you have a pair of game-changing wide receivers?
Oh, I mean, it gives me a bunch of confidence, having those two guys. As a quarterback, when I'm under duress or I'm under pressure, I know I could put the ball anywhere, and those two guys are going to go get it and make me look good. I can't say enough that these two guys are probably the best two receivers in FCS or even in NCAA. I mean, these guys are the best in the nation. Both of them combined is absolutely insane to be able to see them in action and be able to, get the ball to them and watch them do what they do. Those guys, like I said, had a great season last season. We're looking forward to these 3 games and maybe even next season.
And let's stick there, because I want to ask you about the 3-game fall schedule. With this 3-game schedule, you have matchups against North Texas, Texas Tech, and Louisiana Tech. Just after everything that's gone on and all the chaos that is set off, in the college football world, how much of a relief is it for you to know that you will have 3 quality opponents from the FBS level coming up?
I mean, it's going to be an awesome experience. Like you said, 3 teams that we're playing are big-time FBS schools. They're programs that, this past couple of years have been really good. I think it's going to be an awesome environment for us and an awesome experience for us to go in there, to each of their places. All 3 of them are away, so we have to go to them. And that's an even greater experience for us. North Texas this week is a great experience, great team, great program. They have a great defense that we're looking forward to play.
And let's stick there with North Texas. Today's Wednesday. Kickoff is Saturday, September 5th on ESPN3 at 6:30 p.m. And now, where is the team in your own assessment, and how good is it going to feel to finally get back on the field?
Oh, we're ready for sure. Everybody's ready. Everybody's amped up. We're starting to get that first game jitters, getting excited for kickoff. We've worked really hard with the limited time that we've had, on the field. I think everybody is win 100% every day and try to get better each day. And I think I have most confidence going into this Saturday in this game that we're going to come out with a W. And I'm really excited to show everybody in the world what HBU football team can do.
And now, from an individual standpoint, is there anything that you're hoping to put forth on film for NFL teams to evaluate with this 3-game fall schedule?
Yes, sir. I would like to show, not for me personally, but everybody on the team is to show that, just because we're an FCS team, we could compete with those guys at the FBS level. And, from a personal standpoint, I want to go out there and show everybody that, each year I continue to improve my game. And, I want to limit turnovers, because that's been one of my negatives is I turn the ball over a little bit too much. So these 3 games, I want to go out and show that the NFL scouts that I've truly worked on that this fall camp, and that them taking a chance on me is the right thing to do.
And Bailey, you just mentioned that you've been making not turning the ball over a priority in camp. What else have you worked on or made a priority in this off season that you're excited to show in this upcoming schedule?
Yeah, so over the COVID, I spent a lot of time watching film, watching our last season, just, trying to get a better knowledge of the game, better understanding. I've really tried to improve my pre-snap recognition of the coverages and, understanding what the defense is in pre-snap. I think that goes a lot into our offense is understanding what the defense is in, because Coach Kelly gives me the ability to check in and out of plays. And if I'm able to understand or see what the defense is in, I'll be able to check us into the right play so we can be successful.
And Bailey, that's going to take care of the football-based questions that I have, but I want to spend some time getting to know you outside of the football field. So you ready to do some non-football questions?
Oh, yes, sir.
All
I'm
right.
ready.
So the first one is, how do you relax after a tough day?
I would say I'm a big time movie guy. I like to lay down in bed or lay down on the couch and binge watch some movies or shows. I think Netflix, if they if we had to pay Netflix, I think I'd give them a lot of money. I spend a lot of time on Netflix. So yeah, after a hard day, I just like to come in, relax on the couch or in my bed and watch some shows or movies.
Do you have a favorite piece of clothing that you own, like a lucky shirt or something that you just can't bring yourself to throw away?
Yeah, so I have these, like I said earlier in the podcast, I'm a big time hunting guy and fishing guy. And I've had these pair of snake boots for about 6 or 7 years. And I think they're probably rotting away right now. The bottom's falling out and everything. But I can't get away from them. There's a story behind it. They kind of helped me out in certain situations, snake boots. So, I'm hanging on to them until they basically fall apart.
What's the most impressive thing you know how to do?
That's a tough question because I don't really know how to do anything other than football.
Oh, come on, hunting and fishing? You don't have anything there? Anything that you hang your hat on when you go out there?
My dad might disagree with me, but I somewhat know how to, when you get a new rod and reel, putting line onto the reel, making sure everything's right before you go out fishing. I know he's going to disagree with me on that one, but I somewhat know how to do on that. That's all I got.
Hey, totally cool. So, Bailey, what is the most annoying question that you get asked on a regular basis?
So every day we come out, Coach Keeley he always switches the plays around on walkthroughs. We never have the same plays on each walkthrough. He wants to just make sure everybody, gets different plays so everybody knows what's going on. And I think every day I get asked what is the first play about 5 or 6 different times. And my question is, I don't know. He changed it again. And it's not annoying. It's pretty funny because literally it's 5 or 6 different times I get asked the same question every day. And it's just become like a ritual, honestly.
And now, before we get out of here, Bailey, the last question we got teed up for you is, When people come to you for advice or help, what do they usually want help or advice with?
I think I would like to say that I have an open mind. I like seeing things from, outside the box. So, a lot of people come with me for advice on like certain like personal things, and because since I'm on the outside of their personal life into it, understand both sides of what's going on with their life, and I like being able to help my friends out with some stressful situations, and I think that's the one of my best characteristics is helping them out.
And then Bailey, I know you got kickoff a couple days away. Anything for the Houston Baptist fan base that you want to leave them with before kickoff?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to, seeing our HBU squad up in the stands. Hopefully we give y'all a great show. It's going to be a great game, and we're going to come out with that W.
You just heard it here from Bailey Zappe a couple days away from first football action in a while. They're amped up for a game against North Texas. That's going to do it for us today on this episode of That Sports Guys podcast. For Bailey Zappe, I am Craig Forrestall. Until next time, stay safe and be easy.
Hey everybody, Craig Forrestall. Thanks for tuning in and listening to another episode of That Sports Guys podcast. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at that_sports_guy to catch all the latest updates and podcast episodes. Until next time, stay safe and be easy.